Season came to a close last night. The Thunder, they completed the sweep of the Lakers, but that leaves big questions, right, about what comes next for LeBron James. Also, Luka Doncic, he spoke last night. Our Bobby Marks, he's going to be here in just a little bit to explain exactly how the Lakers should be building around him. And the Lakers, they hold exit interviews. They did so just a couple of hours ago. So we're going to hear from Rob Pelinka, his thoughts on LeBron, the offseason. But first, let's hear from the man himself. Here's LeBron James on what's next.
I mean, with my future, I don't know, obviously. I mean, this is obviously we're still fresh from, obviously losing, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the future holds for me, obviously, as it stands right now tonight. I got a lot of time. I'll sit back, like I think I said it last year after we lost, I think, to Minnesota, to go back and recalibrate with my family and talk with them and spend some time with them. And then when the time comes, I obviously, you guys know what I decide to do. If I can commit to still being in love with the process of showing up to the arena 5.5 hours before a game to start preparing for a game, giving everything I got, diving for loose balls, and doing everything that you know that it takes to go out and play, and showing up to practices. 11 o'clock practice, I'm there at 8 o'clock, preparing my body, preparing my mind, preparing to practice, to put the work in. And, so I think for me, I've always been in love with the process and not the aftermath of like, okay, well, we won that game, or we won a championship, or I've always enjoyed the process and more than the outcome, so I think that would be a big factor. And then also, have a conversation with my 12-year-old daughter. That's a big factor. And my 19-year-old son is entering his second year at Arizona, and my wife as well. So they're a huge factor in any decision I've made. So they'll be a big part of it as well.
So LeBron is going to confer with his family. We are going to check in with Dave McMenamin, who joins us from the Lakers' El Segundo practice facility. Dave, you were in that room with LeBron last night. You've actually been at the last 11 postseason press conferences for LeBron James. What was different about last night? Well, what stood out to you?
Well, Malika, one of the family members that LeBron didn't mention, that'll be a part of his decision-making process, I'm sure, is his son, his teammate, Bronny James. He's on the Lakers. You'd think, based on the way they were able to play with one another late in the season, have a 10-point run together in a road playoff game against Houston, that may be something that's enticing for him to come back. He really distanced himself from any type of retirement talk yesterday. He didn't want to indulge in that. Now, he made it clear that he still has some time that he needs to take to decompress and step away and figure out exactly what he wants to do. But he was not leaving a breadcrumb trail of retirement talk for us to pick up on. And that was a little bit different, quite frankly, than in the last couple of years.
Right. A couple of years ago, it felt like we were having these conversations about could this be it for LeBron James. It doesn't quite feel like the note that we're going out on, but he said he needs a little bit of time, and we're certainly going to give him that. You're out in El Segundo because the Lakers, they're holding their exit interviews today. And we just heard from Rob Pelinka, their general manager, team president. Let's take a listen.
In terms of LeBron, we probably haven't seen a player that has honored the game to the extent that he's honored the game. He's given so much to his teammates, to this organization. And the thing we want to do more than anything else is honor him back. And I think the first order of business there is allowing him to spend the time he needs to decide what his next step are. Does he want to play another year in the NBA? And that'll be, as he said to you guys last night, family time, I think time with his inner circle. And we just want to honor that for him.
All right, so that's just some of what Rob Pelinka said in his comments here. Dave, you were in the room. What's the most important thing for us to know here?
Yeah, Malika, the press conference with Pelinka and J.J. Redick spanned more than 35 minutes, so there's a lot of ground covered, starting with the way the team is already putting the resources that the new ownership group led by Mark Walter to use. One thing, they're going to be adding biomechanic equipment and also recovery equipment to the facility here, consulting with the Dodgers to see what type of stuff they use for their players. They're looking to expand the front office. Rob Pelinka says they're looking to hire 2 assistant general managers, one in charge of pro personnel, another one in charge of analytics and cap data. beyond that, there's a couple other free agents beyond LeBron James that are coming up this summer, namely Austin Reaves, the second longest tenured Laker behind LeBron. And in no uncertain terms, Rob Pelinka said he wants to have Austin Reaves back in a Lakers uniform, and he says those conversations have already begun with Austin's representatives. And so JJ Redick, his perspective from the coaching side is we got to get deeper and we got to be better defensively, but he likes the core that he has in place, and he thinks there was a proof of concept with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reaves working together with that 16-2 stretch from late February through the end of March.
Yeah, proof of concept is certainly an interesting way to put that, Dave. Thank you very much for that insight. So lots of decisions here for the Los Angeles Lakers, but I'm sitting with two guys who know not only about playing with LeBron, about winning a ring with LeBron, the man in the zebra vest, Amon Shumpert. Danny Green with me here as well. Amon, I'm going to start with you. What stood out for you? You've heard LeBron talk and you've seen LeBron's actions. What did you help us decipher this?
The biggest thing that I took from what he said when he did his post game was he kept talking. Well, he was talking about, all the other things, but then he talked about being the third option and it being the first time he did it and being proud of himself that he was the third option, and then being proud of himself and being able to adjust his mindset and conform to the same role that he had to revert back to, which was the number one option. Seeing him do that, I don't know, something about that as a competitor, I can see he wants to do this again. He's coming back for more. I don't know what uniform he'll have. He's coming back.
He's definitely coming back. The biggest thing that I got was that a lot of people question whether he's being truthful, have these cryptic messages, or leading bread. I think he's being very truthful. He does not know, because this is the first time in a long time he's an unrestricted free agent where he doesn't have an extension and he doesn't know what the Lakers are going to offer, provide. Everybody's going to want him at a discounted price because he's 41 years old. But even at 41 years old, he's proven he's one of the better players in this league and in the world. And he was the most available. He was the most valuable. Like, even with Austin Reaves coming back, he was your best player in the playoffs. He's shown up. So why would a guy like that ever take a discount, especially the one that they're looking for? So he doesn't really know who's going to offer what, being unrestricted free agent. So I think he's just thinking about chilling with his family, golfing right now, but he's really truthful and does not know what the future is going to bring.
He's certainly they're going to have to make the math work, right? And that's sort of a different conversation. But you were both with LeBron. You were with him in 2010, right? When he was
early on,
the decision,
9-10, and then 2020.
Right, to leave. And you were with him when he was also making the decision on whether or not he wanted to leave in 2018 from the Cavaliers.
Oh, no, I was gone. But I was around.
You were still around. Did you guys know at that point? You were listening to what he was saying. Did you have a gut feeling?
I had no idea.
I couldn't have imagined him leaving, especially not after he had got to hoist up another championship for Cleveland. I couldn't have imagined him leaving to go to L.A., but then again, I wasn't going to imagine him the first time leaving Cleveland. So for me, I think I've had to sit back and respect that he just doesn't think like everybody else.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Rich Paul had a post not too long ago on Twitter going around, but he was talking about how Bron was raised. I really had to give it some thought. I retweeted
deep dive.
I gave it some thought, and I was just like, maybe he just don't want to do what we want him to do.
Well, that, and also when you're 41 years old and still playing basketball at the highest level, when he says he doesn't know, there's probably some things that still need to shake out over the next couple of weeks because you don't know how your body responds, how your mind responds. But he always goes back to whether or not he can give him the preparation that he is used to. And if he can do that, then I expect to see him back and playing. Thunder fans are wondering where they are in this show. We hear you. Thunder fans, this highlight, it is for you here because they were impressive. OKC, they are rolling. They haven't lost a game in these playoffs. Early on, LeBron drives. This is why you think he can go play with the stuff. Because this was a good game that we had here, DG.
It's a great game. And, of course, when you're in clutch time, you know who the clutch player of the year is.
Who are you going to call?
MVP.
SGA. Gets a step back. He had his third 35-point game in a series-clinching game. That's second in Thunder history. He joins Kevin Durant. Rui Hachimura.
Step back.
Smiles. Rui's loving it. Luka's loving it as well.
Like we finna come back.
And then under a minute left, Marcus Smart drives.
Okay, Smart.
Whoa.
By the way, he is a player option as well. So after the free throws, the Lakers are up one here. Next Thunder possession to go, though. Off the screen from SGA, the Lakers bring the double. They did this a lot.
Great play by Mark Daigneault. He knew the trap was coming, had the big roll, tried to play decent.
Keeps that pivot foot down.
He kept it down. He's 7-2, 7-3.
Thunder up 1. So the next Lakers possession here on the switch. LeBron, he gets picked up by Alex Caruso here, Danny.
Yeah.
Yep, familiar
buddies.
territory. They know just like in practice.
One-on-one, baby. At the end of practice, let's see it.
Here we go.
Working to get inside. This is heavily contested, though. So he goes for the floater. Did you like that shot?
I liked it. I thought it was a good look. And AC knows not let him get to that left hand, so you get to the right hand.
A little bit more here. So Rui was not on the floor. J.J. Redick took a lot of criticism for this because they needed a 3 here.
Without a doubt.
Maxi Kleber was in, though, to set the screen.
I mean,
he just didn't.
Kleber's hit some big-time shots in his day, but I think he was there for a decoy screen situation.
Well, also, this was an incredibly good look. Luka, couldn't quite get it to go down. So OKC grabs the rebound, and that'll ice the game. And that is how the Thunder are moving up in the Western Conference Finals once again. Oklahoma City is the 4th defending champion, by the way, to start a postseason with 8 consecutive wins, joining the 2017 Cavaliers, the 2001 Lakers, and the 1989 Lakers. So we promise, Thunder fans, we have a lot more coming for you as these playoffs roll on. But this is the last day for the Lakers. So on that side of things, Luka Doncic, who's never been swept in a series he actually played in, he did speak last night about his absence.
If I could be out there, I would be 100%. Everybody in that room knows that. But, you know, it's been really tough. Like I said, this is the best time to play basketball. I was sad not to be able to help my team. So, and looking to the off season, you know, obviously, I'm still doing recovery. So that's the first thing.
When you signed your extension last summer, you helped to recruit Marcus and DA. Will you be trying to make sure you recruit LeBron, Austin, DA, and Marcus again this summer?
We'll see. Can't tell you nothing.
Pretty non-committal there from Luka Doncic with the coy smile. A little reminder here, the Lakers, they actually only have 6 players guaranteed to be under contract next season. Austin Reaves, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, they all have player options. And that means the Lakers, they could have close to $70 million in cap space next season. So DG, be Bobby Marks for me. What would you do with it?
Mr. Marks, I think first priority is to get Austin back and try to get Bron back at what you can. Like, that's the core. And then the next bet is we don't know who's going to opt into their player options. DeAndre Ayton has a player option, Marcus Smart.
DeAndre Ayton's is for $8 million, so I would expect him to opt in, but Marcus Smart's only for like $5.5.
I expect him to, he's definitely worth more, but you got to retain Marcus Smart. That's the next move. But in the process, you got to find, DeAndre Ayton had a good season, but you need a big, like, because they didn't have him reliable enough in the playoffs. He's shown some spurts in Houston, but this second series, they needed rebounding. Jackson Hayes played well last night, but I don't know if they trust him to be a starting center for you. So you got to find a way to get some 3-and-D guys around you and a center that can rely on.
I would say either a center or a power forward. You know, somebody that can stretch the floor. Exactly, stretch the floor, but also make a play. And I'm talking about make a play in that short roll position, be able to change sides of the floor with the basketball, because sometimes they do get jammed on one side, and Bron and Luka got to throw the cross-court pass for them. But if they can get somebody that can make good decisions in there, that could be good for them. And I also think I wish Luka that I could just go back, turn back time, grab Sean Livingston and just throw him in a Laker uniform with you, because a guy like that one picks his spots throughout a game, but knows how to keep the train on the tracks, and as well as be able to hit the gas when it's time to say, hey, our bench could run it up real quick. We'll give you a quick 8-point swing. Now you come back in, you feeling good, you done got your rest. You know what I mean? A little Gatorade, a little water, you'll be all right.
Well, I mean, and Rob Pelinka had said that he is proud of what this group has done, but he's not satisfied. And that seems about right for this Los Angeles Lakers season, because you saw glimpses of what this team could be. We'll have much more on the Lakers coming up here on NBA Today. We turn now, though, to some incredibly sad news. Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clarke has died. He was one of the Grizzlies' longest tenured players. Clarke, he played 7 seasons in the NBA, and all of them were with Memphis. He was selected in the first round of the 2019 draft out of Gonzaga. And in 2020, Clarke was named to the all-rookie first team. And Danny, I know that Brandon was a teammate of yours in Memphis. Just devastating news today.
Yeah, my thoughts and prayers go out to his family and the whole organization of Memphis, because he was he was a high energy guy. He always brought in the positivity, the vibes. He did his own music. He was artistic. He was into fashion. Like, he was just one of those kids. And they were a tight-knit group. Like, I was only there for about 6 months. I only got to know him in a short span, but I always checked in on him. I felt like he was an extended brother. So deeply saddened for the organization, his family, and for him. And whatever he was going through, I always tried to be an outlet for the young kids to talk to. But he was such a great kid, had a lot of energy. He will be dearly missed, and you know, he was very much loved in that community.
Very well said. We took a couple of trips out to Memphis. He was always wonderful to cover, to talk to, and the Memphis Grizzlies said in a statement this. They said, in part, quote, Brandon was an outstanding teammate. He was an even better person, as you mentioned, Danny, whose impact on the organization and the greater Memphis community will not be forgotten. And NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, he also offered his condolences and support to Clarke's family, to his friends, and to the Grizzlies. That trend, though, continued last night. Game 4 at Rockets Mortgage Arena here. Top of the third quarter. Cavaliers down by 4. I like the hero music here. It's true. Spider, the alter ego, showed up.
Spider-Man, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Next possession.
I see.
I mean, Mitchell was just attacking here.
Strong.
And then some good ball movement here by the Cavaliers.
Good swing, you better get out there.
Back to Mitchell.
I'm going to shoot that too.
Gets that one to go, and then a minute later, Mitchell says to Tobias Harris, let me have this dance. Knocks down the 3. Cavs up 3 now.
Home away from home, right?
Under 6 minutes left in the third. Mitchell gets in the paint.
This is all erratic behavior.
23-0 run, was it?
You know what I'm saying?
Was it erratic or was it acrobatic?
You want the right hand or you want the left hand?
A little bit of both here.
You want a floater or you want a jumper?
You want a heater? Because that's what Mitchell was on here. To the fourth quarter we go, making Cunningham dance.
Hey, I'm going this way.
Then he drills in 3.
Man.
Donovan Mitchell scores 39 points in the second half. That's tied for the most in a half in NBA postseason history.
You need that free throw, Don.
By the way, when I'm like walking around or just like doing dishes or something, can I have a hey? That's how I want to move through life. We mentioned the tie. Ty is Golden State Sleepy Floyd.
Sleepy.
In 1987 against the Lakers. He scored 39 of his career high 51 points also in the second half. Also at home in Game 4 of the conference semis. How about that? What's the difference been, Danny? Because this is a completely different Cavaliers team.
Yeah, their fans, their support. I mean, they look very comfortable at home. On the road, they got to find a way to take that energy and carry it over with their veteranship, with James, with Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Donovan, I know, is going to show up pretty much every night.
Right.
But those other guys are the ones, like, the role players play well at home. You need some of them to step up on the road. Same with Detroit. You know, they just haven't looked that great on the road either. They've only won 1 game throughout the whole playoffs on the road. So both these teams has kind of been toss-up. But Cleveland looked good last night, and I like James Harden's approach. I like Evan Mobley, how they stepped up, but obviously Donovan Mitchell took them home in that third quarter. They had a 23-0 run, and Detroit went cold also because their defense intensity picked up.
Without a doubt. I think they did a great job with Cade Cunningham, and I'm very happy to see James Harden in Game 3 and 4 go out here and have the slug match with Cade Cunningham.
Right.
This is what you're here for. I know that Donovan Mitchell is going to do what he's going to do. But the key to their success is James Harden. I keep saying it to everybody. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, y'all, Sam Merritt, y'all want to all get involved. Make sure that man is cooking. You got to chef it up, James. That's how I got to go. I think he got comfortable, and at the end of the game, he did not turn the ball over.
Right.
Throughout the game.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
He did not turn the ball over. It wasn't the usual pickups, and it was a questionable call, and he's none of that. There was no live ball turnovers. Everything was aggressive. Everything was forward progress. Love the way he played.
So you're saying that James Harden has to be the catalyst.
If James Harden comes and plays for Game 5, the Cavs.
NBA title with the Lakers. That was in 2020. LeBron, he's not made the finals in 6 consecutive years. He's a little older, right? But before this stretch, LeBron had never missed the NBA finals in more than 3 consecutive seasons. So after 23 NBA seasons, the 41-year-old, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent in the offseason for the first time in a long time. But it's not the first time that LeBron's future has been a major question, right? In 2010, after that second-round loss to the Celtics, that's when James made the decision to take his talents to Miami and South Beach. And then after winning 2 titles, 2 MVPs in 4 seasons in Miami, James came home. He returned to Cleveland, and then he made 4 straight NBA finals alongside Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. My guy Shump was there for a bit, including the franchise's only NBA championship in 2016. And then in 2018, that's when LeBron opted out of his contract. He signed with the Lakers. And at this time, his agent, Rich Paul, he said that 2010, it was about championships. So 2014, it's about delivering on a promise 2018 is about doing what LeBron wanted to do. So what is it about now, right? He was swept in the second round by the defending champs, and a 41-year-old LeBron James, he leads the Lakers in points, assists in these playoffs. So the question is, what comes next? That seems like a great question for our front office insider, Mr. Bobby Marks. So, Bobby, break down the factors here that LeBron is looking at.
Yeah, I think it's basically, Malika, what does LeBron want here? Here's a player that's made close to $600 million in on-court earnings, certainly the championships that he's been able to win. Does he want to go to a team that has a chance to win a championship? Does he view the Lakers as a team that can win a championship? I think the other thing was, what do the Lakers want, right? Do they want to start building this roster solely around Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves moving forward? But listen, whatever LeBron wants to do, and we all can agree that he still can play at a high level on the court. If he still wants to play, there will be a long list of teams that would certainly want his services, but not at the price tag of $50 million plus that he was earning this season.
Well, sure, but he said as long as he still loves the process, he wants to keep playing. And from what we see, it seems like he still loves the process. What do you expect these next several months to look like?
I don't expect too much of a pay cut. I know he might not get the whole
that
50.
$600 million that we were talking about doesn't. Okay.
Money add up, and monies make things make sense. So I could expect him to do that, but I expect him to have a good time. But I expect him to still be on that diet. What did he say? He cut ice cream?
Yeah, just a little bit.
The ice cream or the cookies?
Yeah, one of the cookies.
One of the two. Yeah. He cut that. You know what I'm saying? I expect the weight to stay down. Everything like that. Yeah.
I think the only reason why he's playing is because he loves the process. Like, there's no 40-year-old in the world that wants to continue to play unless they really enjoy the process. So I don't doubt him there. Right now, I think it just looks like him, actually enjoying his off-season some. He's picked up golf. I feel him. He's going to be at the driving range, maybe on his cigars or whatever. He's drinking his wine. Yeah. But he's going to look at all the options that's presented on the table.
Right.
I think he ultimately wants to stay in Los Angeles, be with his family, be around his kids, and be a Laker and finish there. But again, he knows what he's worth. He knows, he can take a cut. But he also knows, I don't think championship, of course, he wants to win.
Right.
But I don't think it's the main priority. I think he wants to go out the way he wants to go out.
Well, junior, senior action?
Yes, because it's like him winning a championship as a third or fourth option. I don't know if it holds as much weight or value to him as it does as if he was a number one option.
But when he has looked at whether or not there is some maneuvering to do with contracts in the past, he likes to know the reason, right? Is it to bring back a team around him? Is it to help the Lakers re-sign other players that help them stay competitive, even if it's not necessarily Oklahoma City, right? And the Lakers have a lot of key free agents here. LeBron, yes, but also Austin Reaves. He has that player option that they're looking at, and he is probably going to opt out of that player option, right? Here's Rob Pelinka a little earlier today. Here's what he had to say about Austin Reaves.
He started his journey here as a Laker and has made it very clear to us that he wants his journey to continue as a Laker, and we feel the same way. We want his odyssey to continue to unfold in the purple and gold. As you know, Dave, there's rules and timing to all of that, but I think both sides have made it abundantly clear that we want to work something out where he continues his prolific career here.
All right, so Rob Pelinka wants Austin Reaves to stay in the purple and gold. Bobby, what do you make of the decisions that are ahead here for LA? How would you sort through them?
Well, listen, they've got some big free agents, as you mentioned, with LeBron James, Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, who certainly had a really good season. Luke Kennard is another player. Here's a Laker team that potentially could have up to $50 million in cap space, but the cap space comes without James, Hachimura, and Luke Kennard on your roster here, and certainly with DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart. Now, the issue is that this free agent class is not very good. It's a group of restricted free agents, so you're basically going to have to go out and outprice other teams. But the other thing, Malik, is how do you build a roster that looked like Dallas when Luka was on that Mavericks team, where you need a lob threat, a rim protector, an athletic wing. You need some more shooting here. $50 million in this marketplace probably not accomplish all that.
Yeah, it's
both
so
of these
crazy.
looked at each other and went,
all the good free agents are right up on the board. And it's crazy to ask these guys in the state of California to take a discount.
Without a doubt.
But I like what Rui did. I love what Marcus Smart did. Those guys are really good, pieces to have. But you do need a center. And Austin Reaves, in order to keep those guys together, some of those guys like Austin Reaves and then LeBron James are going to have to take a cut, which, again, is hard to ask for in the state of California. So it's going to be interesting this summer. they're going to have to figure out, who's priority out of those role guys, but they're going to try to keep some of those guys around.
Amon said, bet. That's spoken like someone who lives in California and someone who lives in Atlanta. Bobby, thank you. Enjoy Chicago and the Combine. What do you say? Let's get to a series that is still ongoing here out west. The Spurs, the Wolves.
There you go.
All tied up, 2-2, heading into this pivotal Game 5. We always say Game 5s are pivotal. Pivotal Game 5.
Wow.
That's a pivot right there for you.
Yeah, it was. Last game, Victor Wembanyama, he was ejected early in the second quarter. He elbowed Naz Reid. Now, the NBA did say that there is not going to be any further discipline for that flagrant foul. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards, he had 36 points in that game, so that's a huge reason additionally that they won. But now we turn to Game 5. What do you, though? We haven't gotten a chance to hear what you thought of the elbow from Victor Wembanyama.
You're a big man. I think people are forgetting that.
Yeah.
Like, big men ain't nice. They're not nice. Like, you think that I was talked to nice when I didn't pass the ball to Amari Stoudemire the right way? You think somebody was talked to nice if they just start hacking a Kendrick Perkins, if they start hacking a Kurt
Put him
Thomas?
in a full Nelson.
Yeah,
they
will do that to you. I've known that plenty of times where even as a guard, I got to the basket a little too much one game and then somebody put me on my ass in the cameras. Yeah. Like, that's just what
Touch
happened.
him up. Big Shaq would say that. Touch him up.
I think that we forgot as we watched the series how many times Wemby hit the floor. He hit the floor over and over
That's
and
what
over.
Mitch Johnson was
he
saying.
kept asking for calls. He kept asking and looking around like, why can't anybody see it? After a while, his frustrations took over and he let everybody know, y'all do know I'm the biggest guy out here, right?
Yeah,
Does everybody remember I'm the alien? I'm the big guy with the long arms. I can hit you from over here. He grabbed his neck while he sat on the bench. Grabbed Harrison Barnes by the neck like he ain't 6'8". Sitting on the bench. So it's like we can't sit here and act like a big man ain't supposed to be big. That's what big men do. After a while, they, boom, hit you on top of your head. I hate that it had to be Naz Reid. I hate that. But it's not something that's foreign in this league. We're not going to sit here and act like this ain't playoff basketball.
Right.
They're allowed to do that. That's where the bad boy Pistons came from. This is what it is.
Well, now you imagine that turning the page to Game 5, that the first ejection from Victor Wembanyama, the response is certainly going to be interesting. So let's dive further into this Game 5, get our popcorn with our friend Michael C. Wright, who joins us now. You've been covering the series. Michael, though, we have some injuries that have popped up on the injury report. De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, both of those guys are listed as questionable. So what is the Spurs' approach? How are they looking at this Game 5, rather?
Well, first off, on De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper, their statuses are going to be updated a little closer to tip-off. But I can tell you, I did see De'Aaron Fox's shoot-around earlier this afternoon, and it looked like he was suffering no ill effects from that ankle injury he suffered in the second half of Game 4. Now, as far as the approach goes, the San Antonio Spurs want to increase their physicality, and they really want to emphasize rebounding after being outscored in second chance scoring by like almost 10 points in Game 4. But Coach Pop, the legend, he's been taking part in some of this team's film sessions, and Devin Vassell said that he didn't want to give up too much about what Coach Pop had to say to them, but he did say that Coach Pop also talked about increasing that physicality and playing off 2 feet.
All right, that's what Amon was talking about, increasing that physicality in this all-important Game 5. Michael C. Wright, thank you very much for that insight. Let's stick with this game. It's time now for Heat Check. It's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. DG, what you got?
Yeah, we got Wemby, man. He's going to bounce back in a big way. His points, rebounds, plus 40.
That's
I think
safe.
he's going to, it's pretty safe. He's averaging about 15 rebounds a game. He'll give you 20, 30 points. So, yeah, he's going to be solid. And you got Anthony Edwards, plus 25. He's been on a heater. No more minute restriction for AE. He's giving it all he got, to the wall. So, and you got Rudy. Rudy's been a big factor in this series. He's been rebounding. He's been physical. He's been setting that Gortat screen, letting his guards get to the rim. But he's been active, and I like what he's done. He's taken personal and put a chip on the shoulder about that Defensive Player of the Year finalist.
Not to mention, Ants had back to evaluating the 117 players who earned invites. And the Wizards, of course, they were the big winners in Sunday's draft lottery. They have the top pick of this loaded 2026 class. And then the team's general manager, Will Dawkins, he was at the ESPN set earlier just raving about what the options are in this class. And one of them is A.J. Debonsa, right, out of BYU, one of the top candidates to be drafted by Washington as the first overall pick. And this highly heralded draft class, which had GMs, scouts, They were all buzzing throughout the entire season. How lucky are we, though? We get to check in with our college basketball analyst, Seth Greenberg, who is out there in Chicago. I want to go through a couple of prospects here, Seth, and starting with Darren Peterson, right? Because there's been so many questions about his season at Kansas. What has he done so far, and what does he need to show scouts now?
It has nothing to do with his talent. His talent is undeniable. You think about Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, that type of shot making and offensive ability. It's really availability. And the most important thing with Darren Peterson is going to be his interviews and his medicals. If he gets through those two things in a way that hopefully he will, then he's going to be the first or second pick in the draft. That is the biggest question. It has nothing to do with talent.
Right.
He's got to be more outgoing because he says he wants to play point guard. Well, if he's going to play point guard, he's got to have some leadership skills. He's got to be able to communicate. But his talent is special.
And that's where those interviews that you're talking about come in. But you're a coach, right? So you're watching the measurables. You're watching the drills this week. What actually matters to you?
Depends on your position. Like on the perimeter guys, obviously the shuttle run is important. But I want to see dudes that can make shots. Because, I mean, you get to this level, if you're a perimeter player, you've got to be able to put pressure on the defense. We see what's happening in the playoffs. If you can't make shots, people are going to basically double who can and basically force you to make a play or be a shot maker. So for the perimeter guys, shot making. For the front court guys, the shuttle run's really important. Because as a big, you've got to be able to change speeds, change direction. You've got to be help on a drive, get back to your man, help on a drive, find someone, cut him out off the glass. So to me, you look at those two things. I'm not huge on all of the on-court stuff because in the end, you got to have a basketball IQ. You got to have a feel for the game. You've got to have instinct. But those are the ones that I would look at more seriously when it comes to the combine.
Right, and some of those things like you're talking about are the immeasurables. But one of the measurables that we got to see yesterday was both height and wingspan. Did anything stand out to you from those?
Morris Johnson blew me away in measurables and on his on-court drills. Morris Johnson, 6'9", 7'1" wingspan, did a terrific job in his on-court work, stepped out and knocked down threes, but his ability to rebound balls out of his area, his ability to change ends and run the floor, his ability to stretch the defense some, but his immeasurable, like you think about his size, 6'9", 7'1" wingspan, think a little bit like Isaiah Stewart with a little bit better range. He was really impressive to me in everything he did yesterday.
We also heard that King McClure, our friend, impressed you with his standing jump. He was able to really get that standing reach up there. Is anyone else that you're keeping an eye on?
He looked like me.
No, he did not. We're going to need to pull up the footage. Don't tempt us with a good time.
Back in the day, you don't know I had mad hops back in the day, Malika. You don't know that?
We are going to be finding the footage.
I was a jumping white guy. Are you kidding me?
See?
Cam Carr. Cam Carr's a guy I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. 7'1" wingspan, 6'6", had 54 dunks this season. Explosive in the open floor, 40% three-point shooter, has a little wiggle to his game. A multi-positional defender. He's got to get stronger. It's only about 190 right now. He gets to 210. But this dude is a genetic freak. I'm great in transition. Really good coming off screens like wide pin downs. He's a lob threat. To me, I think he's a really interesting prospect that tomorrow, if he plays, he will absolutely tear it up with more space. And the one thing about these guys, in college, the court shrinks. In the NBA, the space creates great opportunities for really athletic, long slashing players, kind of like the two guys that are sitting next to you, but also Cam Carr.
Yeah, if Danny Green, Iman Shumpert, they just told me, Coach, if you want to come out to L.A., we'll put you through a couple of drills here in studio. That'll be your next take on NBA Today.